Hello class, this is your instructor Dmitry Kalyakin. This video is going to provide you with a test review for test number 2 for Business 7 Accounting for Small Business. So first of all, please go to your Canvas class site, click on your Canvas site, and then choose modules on the Canvas menu. Scroll down to test 2 module, and right here you can see the link to the actual test and also the link to this test review, which is a PowerPoint file. I will also add here the link to this video so you can watch it. I already opened the file, this test review file, so let me go to PowerPoint. Here we go. So your test format will be the same as the format of the first test you completed after chapter 3. The test will be open for almost 48 hours, pretty much. It will open from 12:01 a.m. on Sunday until Monday 11:55 p.m. You have only 3 hours to complete the test, 180 minutes. And once you start the test, you cannot save and exit. You have to complete it in one sitting, in one attempt. The test has 5 points built into it, and so the total number of points is not 150 but 155. I cannot assist you while you're taking the test, but I'm happy to answer any questions about the course content or what's going to be on the test if you email me or if you come to my office hours on Zoom. So the format as the previous test, it will cover 3 chapters. Chapter 4, General Journal, General Ledger. Chapter 5 on the worksheet and the adjustments. And Chapter 6 on closing entries and the post-closing trial balance. You will have 8 multiple choice questions for each chapter, similar to your quizzes. So since you have 3 chapters, you will have a total of 24 multiple choice questions, but they will be worth 2 points, not 1 point like on your quiz. So about a third, 1/3 of the points will come from multiple choices. And then 2/3, 107 points, will come from 6 problems. So you will have about 2 or so problems for every chapter. They're similar to your homework, the beginning of your homework, but I disabled the check my work feature and the hints. So right here, this is actually, there's no chapter 1. Okay? As in the first test, you cannot copy or print the test. If you get locked out, if there isn't something going wrong with the internet, or if there is a power outage, please contact me right away. Each student has a different set of problems and questions, and the algorithmic numbers are used. And you will see your score in Connect and on Canvas practically right away after you finish the test. But after the deadline for everybody, on Monday at 11:56 p.m., you can go back to your test, you can click on the test 2 link on Canvas, and it will take you back to Connect, and you can check out what questions you missed and problems you missed. Hopefully you do not miss much. Okay, so types of problems to expect. In chapter 4, you're going to have just journalizing transactions, and you're also going to journalize compound transactions. Like, for example, in chapter 4, we also studied the ledger, but I'm not going to ask you to post to the ledger because it's time consuming and kind of repetitive. I might ask you multiple choice questions about the ledger, but I will not ask you to do it as a separate problem. Also, we talked about correcting entries in chapter 4. I will not ask you to do it as a separate problem on the test. In chapter 5, you will be journalizing adjusting entries. Again, no ledger, just journal. And you will complete the worksheet, but just the half of it. You will just complete the trial balance, adjustments, and the adjusted trial balance. And in chapter 6, you will journalize 4 closing entries, and you will also interpret closing entries using the ledger. I will give you the ledger, completed ledger, and you will have to tell me what every entry in the income summary account, what does it mean? Is it total revenues? Is it total expenses? Is it net income or net loss? Guys, these are key terms for chapter 4. As I mentioned, each one of you will get 8 multiple choice questions, and I create a large pool of about 100 or over 100 questions per chapter. So each student gets randomly 8 questions. So I cannot guarantee which specific key terms you will have to address in your multiple choices, but these are all key terms right here that we studied. I introduced the accounting cycle. We looked at the books, 2 books, and bookkeeping, the general journal, and this is the description of the general journal and the how to journalize. We also looked at the general ledger, and we also looked at the audit trail, cross-referencing. We also learned how to post and how to correct errors with correcting entries. In the next chapter, chapter 5, we distinguish between the account form versus the report form for the balance sheet. We looked at the 10-column worksheet and completed it. We identified 2 functions of the worksheet to identify the adjusting entries and to prepare financial statements. We studied 3 types of adjustments. Here they are: supplies, prepaid expenses, and depreciation. You learned the formula and applied it for straight line depreciation. You learned what salvage value is, and we used a brand new contra asset account minus plus normal credit balance called accumulated depreciation. You learn how to calculate book value, which is cost minus the balance of accumulated depreciation. And guys, we completed the worksheet. We prepared financial statements from the worksheet. And as I mentioned before, you used account form balance sheet in the first few chapters, and we started using the report form. And then the chapter ended with recording, journalizing, and posting of adjusting entries. The last chapter that will be covered on test number 2 is the last chapter of the accounting cycle. We distinguish between temporary accounts, revenues, expenses, and drawing, and real or permanent accounts, which are assets, liabilities, and capital in the owner's equity group. We looked at the 4 steps in closing, 4 journal entries. So we recorded closing entries for R, revenues, E, expenses, I, income summary, and D for drawing. And this income summary account, it's a brand new account. It's a temporary equity account that does have a debit on the left and credit on the right, but it does not have plus, minus, or minus, plus, which means its balance could be either debit, and that would represent net loss, or credit, which would represent net income. So we also journalized and posted closing entries, and then we prepared post-closing trial balance. We talked briefly about the interpretation of financial statements and overview accounting cycle with its 9 steps. So this is pretty much the test review. I wish you all good luck. Please prepare well, study. I recommend always preparing a cheat sheet, a summary for every chapter, like 1 page for chapter 5, 1 page for chapter 4, 1 page for chapter 6, before you take the test. Good luck and take care.